Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Now everyone can see my screen, correct? Everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next topic which we have to see is accessibility testing. Okay. So it itself is a subset of this accessibility testing is actually a subset of usability testing. Okay, so as the name suggests, how we are going to access your software. Okay, so first we'll see what is meant by that. Okay, so it is defined as a type of software testing performed to ensure that the application be tested is usable by the people having disabilities like hearing, color blindness, age, and other disadvantaged groups. Okay, so it's not that you just create a software and just put it out there in the market. It has to help, or it has to be used by people who are not normal, right? So for instance, if you take your cell phone, most of your cell phones which you have, if I see there's the font is so small, hardly I can read that. But if you look at my phone, the font will be a little bit bigger because it will help me to look it better without much eye strain. Okay, so that is one type of accessibility testing. So if you put constant font size, then some people may or may not be able to view it. Okay, so by allowing the person to increase the font size, I am giving them certain options where they can increase the size of the font or decrease it as they would like. Okay, and it is a subset of usability testing, which I already told you, or which we already discussed in the last class. There is something called as assistive technology. Okay, have you heard this term, anyone? Assistive technology, wearable technologies. Have you heard these terms? You can
No.
open your mouth and answer. No one has heard this. Wearable technology, anyone has heard it?
No.
You have your smartwatch. Have you heard that one?
Yes.
So smartwatch is an example of wearable technology, because you wear the tech on your body like Fitbit. It will measure your heart, everything. That is one type of wearable technology. Assistive technologies are technology that will enable people with certain impairments to do their work. So has anyone here seen this person called as, I don't remember his name. There is a scientist who will be in his wheelchair and talking. Does anyone remember his name?
Stephen
Stephen
Hawking.
Hawking.
Yeah, Stephen Hawking, correct. So he has some motor disease, something, and he'll be sitting in a chair, but he'll be talking. So he is a person who can't talk, who can't let alone do anything. But that technology, that is his chair, which is sitting there. It speaks in a voice, right? It tells in a particular funny voice that is like a robot. It will be talking. Okay, so it was pre-recorded and it has been assisting him to do certain activities. So that is called assistive technology. Okay, you might have heard something called as biolimbs. That is, people who don't have hands or who have lost hands due to an accident, they can use something called as a biological hand, which will almost replicate the human hands. Okay, so there are technologies like that that are coming up nowadays. So here are a few examples of assistive technology. The most common one that we use is speech recognition. It has been there for nearly 20-25 years, but nowadays people who are normal use it to be a little bit lazy, that is you just shout the instructions on the phone and the computer will do everything for you, but its real purpose is for those who don't have hands, so they can communicate. So that is the main purpose of speech recognition software. You have heard about screen readers, right? It will read the text for you, so it's for the visually impaired. And screen magnification software, of course you have a lot of apps that will magnify. One font example which I told you is the same thing. And there are special keyboards. Okay, you might have seen the QWERTY keyboard, and there are ASDF keyboard. There are a lot of layouts there, but there are some specific keyboards that are made for people with certain disabilities. Like in the leftmost side, you can see a person who is punching the keyboard using his stick in his mouth. Okay, so this is a keyboard layout, and on the middle you can see a keyboard where if a person has only one hand, they can use this keyboard. And on the last you can see there is a keyboard. This is an ATM keyboard with braille installed in it. It's for the visually impaired. Okay, so why you need accessibility testing? Okay, so there are about 20% of the population who have some kind of disability issues. Okay, and 1 in 10 also has severe disability issues. So as I told you, disabilities will be blindness, deaf, handicapped, and disorders and all those. So now whenever you're marketing a product, from the business point of view, it is a business opportunity. Okay, so that 20% is a market share which you can exploit, provided you give them some assistive features in your phone or in your device or in your software, so that they can also be included. That is from the business perspective. From a social perspective, you shouldn't discriminate anyone based on their disability. So a person who is disabled doesn't mean he shouldn't access a technology. There should be a way where everyone should be able to access technology or your software product for that instance. It's not that only people with this normal thing can use, or with these disabilities can't use my product. You shouldn't tell like that. Okay, so when you're creating a software, you have to make a software product or any technology where all the population, no matter what disability they have, they can use it. Okay, even if they are having color blindness, they should be able to view whatever you are telling or whatever you are doing. Now the second reason why you need accessibility testing is there are certain legal requirements by governments which have enforced these things. So if you don't do this, then you will be penalized. Okay, so these are the various legal acts by various governments. So this is United States, United Kingdom, Austria, Ireland. So you have certain provisions in their IT acts where you have to create your software package so that disabled people can use it. You might be wondering what guidelines India has given. So these are the Indian government guidelines. So web accessibility means that people with disabilities can also perceive, understand, navigate and interact with the web, and they can contribute to the web. It encompasses all disabilities that affect access to the web, including visual, auditory, physical, speech, cognitive and neurological disabilities. Thus, the impact of the person with disabilities radically changed on the web, because the web removes barriers to communication and interaction that people may face in the physical world. When websites, web technology, and web tools are badly designed, they can create barriers that exclude people from the web. The website and apps should be designed and developed in such a way that they are accessible by all people, whatever may be their hardware, software, language, culture, location, or physical or mental ability. So this 1.8 clause, okay, of a GIGW manual, okay, proposed by the Indian government, gives this clause very clearly. Okay, so these are the legal provisions, okay, and these are the subject to international guidelines and standards. So there are four main things. It should be perceivable, it should be operable, understandable, and it has to be robust. So these are all the different standards that are, so is based on the UNGC, which the legal provision in India has been ratified, okay, as of first day of October 2007 onwards. Okay, so these treaties, everything is given. So that is the second reason. The third reason is to avoid potential lawsuits. Okay, so when you are not creating product, or when you are discriminating certain people, then in a court of law, cases can be filed against you. Okay, right? So that's why we need accessibility testing. Now, what are the different types of disabilities that we can support? Okay, there are a lot of disabilities, but if you look in your phone, immediately there you can find a magnifier, you can use screen reader. Then regarding vision, certain things will be neurological disabilities mostly won't be there, right? And so won't be audio also. So these are things they can't build into it. So what are the different disabilities that can be adapted in your software? So when you take vision, for people with complete blindness or color blindness, okay, so you can like a visual strobe or flashing effect problem, these kind of problems will come for visually disabled people. Now physical disability, that is people who are not able to use a mouse or keyboard with one hand, who don't have motor skills, slow muscle movement, or who have suffered a stroke. For those kind of people, what you are going to do? Then cognitive disability, learning difficulties or slow learners, autistic children, those who have poor memory, okay, those who don't understand even given repeated instruction. I think it doesn't mean you, but although it is like you, okay. Literacy disabilities, those who can't read, okay, so you might find government websites in their native language also, that's covers under this one. Hearing disabilities, auditory problems like deafness, hearing impairments, cannot able to hear or able to hear clearly. So this is a checklist for accessibility hearing. The first one is what? Whether an application provides keyboard equivalents for all the mouse, everything. So you might have seen shortcut keys. Okay, so those are all keyboard equivalents. And also certain keyboard action you can do it with the mouse. So you have two input devices for that reason. Whether instructions are provided as a part of the user documentation or manual. Okay, whether tabs are ordered logically to ensure smooth navigation. So that is also one part of usability testing. Shortcut keys, then application support, response time for each web page, okay, labeling of all the different parts in your software, okay, whether the color is acceptable or not, whether the images are or icons are not inappropriate, then whether you have audio alerts, okay, or when you are able to adjust your audio or video control, whether you can override default fonts, okay, whether you can adjust or disable flashing, ensure the color coding is never used, okay, highlighting is viewable, audio and video, whereas training is provided. These are all some of the 17 points that you can use to check whether your particular system is compatible for people with disabilities or not. Okay, so to counter these problems which is listed here, you can use one of these 17 different checklist items to solve to look into whether your software can be accessed by others or not. So this is the summary of your third unit. Okay, so as I've told you, your software you're creating, unit 2 you are focused only on how to make your you're looking at the coding as a whole. So how black box testing, no one with the knowledge of the code can test it, but when you look inside white box testing, it needs coding knowledge. So these four will come in the black box testing because you don't need knowledge of code. Okay, only the developer, or when you are testing the internal modules only, you need the knowledge of the code, and hence you need white box testing. Majority of the places only black box testing is used, so people without knowledge of any code are doing the project. So that's why I'm repeatedly telling you, for a project also coding is not much important, means for working. So your performance regression, if I click something is coming or not, this only I'll be interested. I want to be interested what code you're putting there. Okay, so the functioning is very important, right? So performance testing, regression testing, usability testing, accessibility testing. Okay, these are the things that will make sure that your software is up to par and whether it can be put up in the real markets. Okay, so performance of yours, regression, user regression is again testing if there is any problem, but usability and accessibility are quite clear. So 1, 3 and 4 are very important for your software to work. Okay, everyone is there or slept off? Everyone,
We're here, sir.
Sir, sir.
anyone has any doubts in this? Anybody has any doubt in this? So today, just 1 second.